Well, the EU is determined to try and encourage European companies to keep trading with Iran so that they can say that the EU continues to uphold its side of the 2015 nuclear deal, which of course President Trump has pulled the US out of. So the blocking statute, which will come into force at 4 a.m. GMT tonight, at the same time as those US sanctions, prohibits any European company from complying with the US sanctions, and it allows companies who sustain a financial loss because of them to claim damages or compensation. It also means that any court judgment made in the US relating to these sanctions doesn't apply in Europe, and the European Investment Bank is also going to contribute some funding to allow companies to keep trading with Iran. The problem is, though, that that may not be enough to encourage European companies to keep dealing with Iran because they are so concerned about falling foul of US sanctions. It can be very expensive. The French bank BNP Paribas was fined nearly $9 billion in 2015 for falling foul of the previous sanctions regime, and ever since no European bank has been willing to facilitate money transfer to Iran. So that's the scale of penalties that they're worried about falling foul of, so this may not be enough encouragement from the EU.
So is it likely to have much effect?
Well, already very few small and medium-sized European companies invest in Iran because of the difficulties of doing so. Some really big ones did take a punt on Iran after the 2015 nuclear deal, the French oil giant Total, for example, and the car makers Renault and Peugeot. But Total has already announced that it's pulling out of its Iranian investment, and Renault and Peugeot say they're going to severely scale back their activity. And politicians have to admit that there's nothing that they can do. When Total made that announcement in May, Emmanuel Macron, the French president, said that he regretted it, but that he's not the CEO of Total and he can't tell them what business decisions to make.